Hello, BookTube! My name is Shannon, and today I am sharing with you the top 10 books that I read in 2016. And I wasn't going to do this video, but then I was like, I read a lot of good books this year, and I did this video last year for 2015, and I was just like, I have to do it again because I want to share with you the best books that I read this year. So I'm going in the order that I read the books in the year, not by any order of preference, because I loved all of these books. Anyway, let's get started with the list. The second book I read in the year was The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was action-packed, there was a lot of adventure, and it's basically about a princess that is going to be forced into an arranged marriage that she does not want. And so she ends up running away, and this story is of her adventures after she runs away from this marriage. I was so enthralled by this book. It's told in multiple perspectives, and it's just incredible. So if you haven't picked this up, definitely do that. Also, I still need to read The Heart of Betrayal. It's on my TBR shelf. Like, I literally have a TBR shelf. But I still haven't read it, and I don't know why. So hopefully I'll be getting to that soon-ish. Next on my list is Winter by Marissa Meyer. And oh my goodness, what a conclusion to an amazing series. This is the last book of the Lunar Chronicles series, and it was amazing. She wrapped up all the other books into this one so cleverly, and everything was just done so well in this book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It would not be a 2016 book favorites video if I did not put Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell in this video. I love this book, and I don't know why I didn't read it sooner, because this was like one of my top books this year and ever. It's one of my all-time favorite books, and I absolutely love it. If you don't know what Fangirl is about, it follows Kath, who is a freshman in college, and she's discovering more about herself, but also learning to cope with anxiety, and she's been attached to her twin her whole life because they are twins, and so they've done everything together, but her twin Ren is a lot more outgoing than she is, so they end up going a little bit in different directions during college, and it's just a really heartwarming story of her learning how to live on her own, and also a romance comes in, and it's just the cutest thing ever. So if you like that, definitely pick this up. And also, it's called Fangirl because she writes fanfic, which is an amazing part of the story. So definitely check this book out if you haven't yet. It's amazing. Right after I finished Fangirl, I immediately had to pick up Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which is kind of a spin-off of Fangirl. In a way, it's the fanfic that Kath wrote, but it's Rainbow Rowell's take on a hero story. Before my camera unkindly died and cut me off, I was saying that Carry On is like a fanfic of Harry Potter. Basically, this story follows the arc of Simon, who is a wizard, and it follows his journey figuring out who he is, and also trying to defeat, that works too, the insidious humdrum. I cannot say any of the words in this novel right now, but it is an absolutely fantastic novel. It's action-packed, there's LGBT content, which is awesome and representative, and it's just a beautiful novel. So if you're into that type of thing, definitely pick up Carry On. Something that was big for me in the bookish community this year was that I actually finally started the Mortal Instruments series, and it seems like it's been forever since I started them. But I read City of Bones by Cassandra Clare this year, finally. I know, like, everyone and their mother has read this and has read, like, all the books already, but I finally decided to pick them up around March, I believe, or April, and I thoroughly have enjoyed the series so far. I'm reading Clockwork Prince right now, and I decided to stop halfway through for a while, but I'm gonna pick it up again soon-ish and finish the rest of the series, and I'm super excited because these are great books. If you've never heard of City of Bones or the Mortal Instruments series, that's weird because you're watching a booktube video. So usually booktubers talk about this book all the time. But just in case you haven't, it follows Clary Frey, and she is immersed into this world of shadow hunters that defeat demons, and it's just really awesome, and the characters are really awesome, and it's just good. Just pick it up. You'll like it. The next book that I am going to talk about is actually one that I do not own, so I will insert a picture of the cover, but it is called More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and oh my goodness, did this book make me cry. It's a really powerful book about a gay young man who is coming of age and learning about his sexuality and becoming comfortable with it, and it was so touching and made me cry so much. It's just a beautiful story and a tragic story, but it ends in triumph and learning about oneself and learning that you can't change how you come into this world. Next, I have another book that I probably should have read years ago once again, but I'm super glad that I at least got to it in 2016, and that is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. And clearly, I love Rainbow's work. I've read Fangirl and Carry On earlier in the year, and so when I was in the mood for a contemporary again, that was kind of sad, I picked up Eleanor Park, and wow, this book is very emotional, but at the same time, it teaches so many good lessons, and it also is just such a beautiful love story. So definitely pick it up if you like that. And also, I will warn, there's some adult content in here, but it's beautiful, and they're teenagers, and it's just a lovely love story, and I just the feels. I read the next book on my list as an ebook on iBooks on my phone, and that is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Oh, this is a romance, and it is adult, so be aware of that. There's some sexual content, but it's a beautiful story that goes from, it spans 5 years, and it's only, I think, 5 years or more than 5, and it's only one day of the year each time. It's hard to explain, but I don't really want to explain it, because if you go into this book not really knowing that much about it, it makes it all the more interesting and beautiful to read. It's a really sweet love story, so just, if you want a really happy, really cute the love story that pulls on your heartstrings and just makes you happy, definitely read November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Next, I read this book from the library, so I will once again insert a cover of it. But this is The Miseducation of Cameron Post, and this novel was a wild ride. It was beautiful, but it was also heartbreaking, and it follows a young girl into her teenage years, and she is lesbian, and she's dealing with that and learning how to live with that fact, because this book takes place in, I think, the 1980s and early 90s, and I don't want to give away anything if you're going to read it, but it's a really emotional novel. Be prepared for that. And trigger warnings for like if you're struggling with that kind of thing, but it's just a beautiful novel that really made me see some things in a different way and from a different perspective. So definitely pick it up if you're interested in reading more LGBT type novels, and this was a good one. Very sad, but good. And finally, the last book that I read in 2016 was 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. And I also don't own this book. I borrowed it from a friend, so here's the cover. And it was such an emotional book, but at the same time, it was just, it's something I needed to read at the moment. Trigger warning for suicide and suicidal thoughts, because it does deal with that aspect in this book. Oh, also More Happy Than Not does. I should have said that. So, before you read those, be aware of that. But 13 Reasons Why is just a really powerful novel. It's about this guy who is in high school, and this girl has committed suicide. Her name is Hannah. And one day, this guy opens his store and finds a box of tapes that have been mailed to him. And on these tapes is Hannah speaking about the reasons that she decided to commit suicide. So she has already committed suicide when the novel begins, and he is learning about why after the fact. And she sent these tapes to 13 people who are her reasons why. And wow, it's really powerful, and it's definitely a good read, but it's very emotional, and like I said, trigger warning. Don't read it if you're struggling with suicidal thoughts or anything like that. All of these books are so emotional. I didn't realize like how sad so many of the books I read this year were. But at the same time, even though they were sad, they were very, very amazing. So I loved them. I loved all of these books, and my heart is a little like torn up now because all of these were so sad. Well, not all of them. Fangirl's really cute. Anyway, that is it for my top 10 books of 2016. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time with another new video. Bye! Test shot. Oops. It's so close to me. I feel so close to you right now. Oh my goodness. Here comes the part when I hold the giant book stack. Let's see if I can do this.